everyone, and welcome back to our PAX coverage. I am here with the legend himself, Ed Boon. We're talking about Mortal Kombat. This is Christmas come early for me, man.
Yeah.
This is good.
A lot of people seem to be psyched about the game. We're pretty excited.
I think this is perfect. It's a rebranding of the series. It's a relaunch.
Yeah.
You're here. The game's here. This is like, I think this is a good time.
Yeah, this is the first time actually that the public is getting a chance to play the game. So it's a big day for us. Everybody's been kind of hearing about this game for so long, and now finally they're getting their hands on it, and the reception's been really good. So I'm excited about that.
Very cool. Well, let's go back to the beginning. You guys recently relaunched the game, or announced it, I should say. I believe it was at E3. That was your hard push.
Yeah. E3, I think it's the first glimpse that anybody saw of the game. I think we did some kind of teaser stuff before that. But so there's been E3 and then a few other shows, but those have been really like kind of industry stuff. The big test for us is when players get to play it, people who remember Mortal Kombat from back in the day.
But the message has been very clear since day one that it's definitely it's just totally brutal. It is Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And that for me is very exciting. I was a little jarred with DC versus Mortal Kombat. It was almost like a PG-13 version of what I wanted, but this looks great. It's exciting.
Yeah. The last game, actually doing a T-rated game, really created a void and a desire from people to see Mortal Kombat kind of return to form. So this is really like Mortal Kombat coming back on a number of levels. The M-rated presentation, so all of a sudden you got fatalities and all the gore, the violence, the brutal fighting, and then also going back to a 2D fighting plane. We haven't done that since way back in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, many years ago. So people are really embracing that the feel of like Mortal Kombat 2.
Very cool, and I love your setup at your booth, by the way. Very much. I needed some quarters to play. It was awesome.
Very retro arcade kind of cabinets and stuff like that.
It's so good. Well, let's talk some of the characters. I'm seeing some really familiar faces right now. We got Cyrex fighting Katana, which is always a good time. Like, where are we pulling our characters from? From which are the main games?
Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3 is the emphasis that we're doing this game. Again, because of the whole 2D fighting, but also story-wise. It's actually a continuation from the last M-rated Mortal Kombat game, Armageddon. Story-wise, there's like a time travel thing going back to the beginning game. So we're able to kind of retell those stories with our current technology, so we get a lot more detail, a lot more, digging into the kind of the lore of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, well, speaking of which, I'm noticing some really some interesting neck breaking going on, some vertebrae getting snapped in two.
Yeah, we have a move that really lets you do what we're calling kind of like internal damage, and it gives you like this X-ray view of the fight. So one of the most devastating moves that you can kind of save up your super meter and do these kind of crazy X-ray moves, which are show bones breaking inside the body and all that.
It's just epic.
Yeah. It's pretty. We're getting a really good reception from it.
Very cool. Well, I mean, this is great. Not to bring up old rivalries or anything like this, but I do remember back in the day, it was always Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's really awesome to see actually both you guys going back to what made the series so great, simplifying it. And I think we're going to start some flame wars again of which one's better.
Yeah. That rivalry was in a lot of ways it was very fun, and just ironically, both franchises, are doing these kind of reboots and new presentation, but kind of old school gameplay, and everybody's always kind of starting that, which game is better debate.
Well, speaking of like doing a throwback and kind of bringing up the retro days, is there going to be anything in here, any good like Easter eggs for fans of the series?
Yeah, that was one of the things that was really associated with Mortal Kombat. We always wanted the game to have a question mark over it. What hidden characters are in there? What hidden features? Are you guys doing babalities? Are you guys doing all this stuff? And we're trying not to really reveal a lot of stuff, because we want people to feel what else is buried into this game. That was a big part of the whole kind of mystery of Mortal Kombat.
It's always a good time, man. I'm super excited about the game. I'm stoked. It looks as brutal as ever, and I'm just wondering, when can we get our hands on it to play it ourselves?
Well, right now, the plan is to have the game come out for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 in probably about April of next year.
Okay.
And in the spring of 2011.
Very cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
You are a huge influence on everything I do here. You kick ass, man.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Cyrax wins. Fatality.